One mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah, I Banged Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
We made it. Negro, we made it. It's Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the One Mic with Big Mike show. Appreciate you guys out there for joining me all week long. Well, not really all week. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays when you hear me, starting at 7 o'clock, either via my website, www.onemicwithbigmike.com. That is spelled the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE.com, or via Spreaker.com, SPREAKER.com. Go ahead. If you go to Spreaker or the app for all your mobile devices, go ahead and sign up for your free Spreaker account, man. Once you do that, search for my show, One Mic with Big Mike, and then follow me. While you're doing all that, or even if you're listening via the website, make sure you click on that little thought bubble that you see dancing around on the audio player. Excuse me. And that'll take you to the live interactive chat room where you guys can share your thoughts. You can kind of snipe at me. We can go back and forth on some things. Tonight might be one of those days, man. You know what I mean? It's been an interesting situation today on social media as far as having some conversations on the subject matter of the draft, either what happened last night with Laramie Tunsil. I'll get more into it, and if you didn't see it, if you've been hiding under a rock all day, I'll give you the details on it. Or right here in the home state, in the home city, Atlanta, what the home team did with their first round pick. Don't forget, on my website, you guys can get all my social media information, my Twitter, my Instagram, or my Twitter and my Facebook. You can get to from the website. As far as Instagram goes, it is the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE, One Mic with Big Mike. And if you don't get the show live, or if you can't stick around for the whole show, every show is archived, man. Spreaker archives all my shows, as well as TuneIn, as well as the iTunes app, and of course on the One Mic with Big Mike website. Everything is archived all the way back into November, man. And I definitely want to say, if I haven't said it enough, man, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedules to either download the show or stream it or listen to it live. I definitely 100% appreciate it, man. This is a grassroots movement. The name of the show is indicative of what it is, man. It's one mic, just the mic I'm speaking into, and it's me, Big Mike. You know what I mean? Everything goes through me, man. So I appreciate you guys supporting and taking time out to do that. Speaking of supporting, real quick, if you guys own a business, a small business, or a business in general, or you know anyone who does and they'd like to spend some money with the boy, sponsoring the show, sponsoring an hour of the show, a segment of the show, by all means, man, send me an email. You can go to the website, onemicwithbigmike.com, go to the contact page, send me the email from there. That'd be the easiest way instead of having to write down or remember the email address. Just go to onemicwithbigmike.com, go to the contact page, and shoot me the email from there, and we'll see what we can accomplish and see what kind of partnership we can come up with. As far as today, no guest today, so bottom of the hour at the 30-minute mark, we're going to do, on this day, our daily look back into the annals of sports and give you guys some real smart sports tidbits. I got to start saying that. Now, I think about it more and more. As I just mentioned, more people download the show or stream it after the fact than do listen live. So instead of me saying like 7:30 and 8 o'clock, well, if you're listening later on, it's not that time. So more so saying, second hour of the show starting at the 30-minute mark, things of that nature. So just some small programming tidbits, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna do on this day at the bottom of the hour. There's really one story, man, in the world of sports. Two at the most, I guess. And I'll say three if you're a baseball guy. The NFL draft. The NFL is just is paramount. It swallows up everything else like a freaking amoeba. The NBA playoffs, which for the most part, we're either coming out of the first round with most of the series, or we're in the second round, waiting for the second round to start for some of the other series. And in baseball, kid got popped for PEDs. No big deal. 80 games. Just signed for $50 million last year. Sounds like a good investment to me. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. I think the whole PED situation, as far as baseball is concerned, as far as football, sports in general, the PED situation is ridiculous. You know, no one cares. The reward far, far, far outweighs the risk. So, as far as tonight's show go, I don't know if we're gonna make it all the way to 9 o'clock. To be honest with you, you know, I got some stuff, some other stuff I'd like to talk about other than sport. You know how I do. If you listen to the show, you know me. I may drift into some whatever, but the sports stuff is gonna take precedence today, man. The NFL draft, one of my favorite events of the year. I don't know why necessarily, because I'm not one of those dudes that I don't like boo picks, or I think for the most part it's the intrigue of what teams are going to look like possibly in the future. You know what I mean? The newness of everything. I'm a big fan of newness. I don't really like. It's funny. I don't really like arbitrary change in my own life, but I like to see new things happening in progress and people realizing, their quote unquote dreams, as cliche as that sounds. That's intriguing to me. So as far as yesterday goes, in case you guys didn't see, the draft is about to start in a few minutes as I'm doing the show. We're about a couple minutes away from the second round starting, if it hasn't already started. But just going 10-1 real quick. The Giants at 10 took Eli Apple out of Ohio State. At 9, the Chicago Bears took Leonard Floyd, the first pass rusher, well, second, I guess you could say, second pass rusher taken from the University of Georgia. The Tennessee Titans took Jack Conklin, offensive tackle, Michigan State. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about why that happened. At 7, DeForest Buckner from Oregon is going to San Francisco. Ronnie Staley, same deal as the other guy, the other tackle. There's a reason this is happening from Notre Dame, and maybe not so much with Stanley, because as I was talking to my draft guy on Wednesday, Alex Cavtall from NFLDraftBlitz.com, one of the things that I brought up to him was that a lot of people that I was hearing that a lot of people had Ronnie Stanley and Laramie Tunsil very closely rated. One might have had a negative in this area, but the other one had a positive in the same area, and vice versa. Jalen Ramsey, the Florida State DB, corner, safety guy, he's going to Jacksonville. Ezekiel Elliott, the running back out of Ohio State. We got to talk about Ezekiel Elliott, too. Oh, Zeke. He's going to the Dallas Cowboys. They feel like they found their replacement for DeMarco Murray this year. We'll see. And Joey Bosa at number 3. That was the one that was kind of that jumped out immediately, because essentially that was the first pick of the draft. The San Diego Chargers take Joey Bosa out of Ohio State. And 2-1, respectively, Carson Wentz from North Dakota State, the quarterback, and Jared Goff from Cal go to the Rams. So it's Philly. I'm sorry, Philly was at 2, and the Rams were at 1. Now, the big news, the reason that maybe Ronnie Stanley went to the Baltimore Ravens at number 6, and definitely the reason that Jack Conklin went to the Tennessee Titans at 8 is because 13 minutes before the NFL draft started, what is NFL Draft Fantasy, I think is the name of the site, if I'm not mistaken. I can find it here real quick while I'm talking. They found a video. They must have had one of those alerts on where if Laramie Tunsil's account tweets something, I do it sometimes with the draft stuff, or with people that I'm following sports stories, that they'll get it. They'll get the tweet, and the tweet that came out 13 minutes before this boy was supposed to experience, unworldly glee, was one of him taking a bong hit with a gas mask on. Yeah, real talk. So, that kind of shut the situation down. Everybody started freaking out. It was definitely him. It wasn't even a situation where, it was any type of plausible deniability. It was definitely him. NFL Draft Diamonds, I'm sorry, is the name of the site that I want to make sure I give them credit. for breaking the story, I guess. Because the tweet was like most things. Once it's noticed, in a couple minutes it was taken down. But it's the internet, baby. You know what I mean? That damn internet. So that kind of sparked a precipitous free fall for the kid. And you know, it's the new NFL. It's about the PR stuff. It's about, you know, the public perception of what the league is, which it's a corner that the league painted itself into and now has no way out of it. And it's because of the reactionary nature of the guy who sits at the top, Roger Goodell. Like, anytime somebody bats an eye, anytime somebody feels some sort of displeasure, he feels a need to react and change things and do things differently. I once heard him say that he was talking about the Washington Redskins name, the offense of it or whatnot. He said anytime that even one person is offended, we owe it. They deserve for us to have a conversation about it. Wrong. That's how you end up with idiots running stuff. Because at the end of the day, somebody's going to be offended about something. Somebody will be offended about you acquiescing to the person that's offended. That's just it's a bad place to put yourself in, especially if you're a multi-billion-dollar organization like the NFL, but that's where they are. So now where anything raises its head, and I'm on record on this show plenty of times as saying the NFL is on the wrong side of this marijuana issue. Wrong side of it. Now, that's not me saying the players should be able to smoke as much as they want to, but the reality is, you know, you seeing that kid, like, even if he smoked the weed 6 months ago, apparently it didn't affect his play on the field. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about performance enhancers or people being crazy enough to go out on the field high, which at one point it was a thing. Like, I think Hollywood Henderson back in the 70s, maybe with the Cowboys, no one would drink from his water bottle because he put cocaine in the water bottle. And we all know about the infamous Lawrence Taylor. There was times that people assumed that he was on cocaine as well. We don't see that. There haven't been any cases of that. So the NFL trying to be so, you know, above board and so ultra moral when it comes to this crazy dangerous drug, marijuana, you're wrong. And so when you see a kid doing that, it sparks an immediate emotion. And really, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this way that people have now been conditioned to react to certain things. You don't even know it. That you've been conditioned to react and be appalled at what you saw. The first thing out of so many people's mouth, oh, he's stupid. What kind of idiot and all this kind of stuff? Because apparently everybody who feels that way was born in their 30s or 40s. Like no one ever saw them. No one was ever in that position ever as a teen or young adult where you just doing something, kicking it with your people. The only difference now is you have visual evidence of it. You know what I mean? Like so many people, when the situation went down with Swaggy and Nick Russell, like everybody jumped on Nick Russell, what's the boy's name? D'Angelo Russell, as the snitch and all these kind of things, right? But very few people attacked the situation from the side of, well, you know, you were actually cheating on your wife, or your, whatever she is, girlfriend, fiance, you were actually doing that thing, so there is some blame to be held on your part as well. You know what I mean? You did do something wrong in the situation. But it seems to be the opposite with this kid. You know what I mean? This kid, the initial response, like later on now, is, oh my God, who the hell would do something to that kid? That was my first response. And I kind of jokingly tweeted it like I think my first tweet was that his boy in Kimdichie. Kimdichie was back at him again. Like, see, I told you, but nah. But then my second tweet was more real. Like, I felt like his stepdad was coming after him. His stepdad had just recently filed a civil lawsuit against him for defamation or some craziness because of the fact that, and here's the other thing. Let me clear something up. Let me be this guy. And this is why I tell people that my show, I feel like my show needs to exist. And it's simple. That so many times the authors of the stories that we consume sports wise, they don't look anything, and they don't have similar experiences to. They don't look anything like, and they don't have similar experiences to the characters in their story, which are these players. And so many times, the sensationalization of some sort of headline, or you say things in a certain way to make it more impactful, instead of giving it the proper context, so that people who don't know the story can get the full picture. So today I'm looking at TV, right? Adam Schefter, he's a loudmouth gas bag, always trying to like shout over people, and he's talking about this kid, Laramie Tunsil, and he's talking about all the red flags were there. Look at the domestic violence case that he got earlier on in the year. Wait a minute, bruh. Like, you start throwing that out, for somebody who doesn't know, it sounded like he was beating on some woman. It was quite the opposite. Like, the story was that he put his hands on his stepdad because his stepdad put his hands on that boy's moms. See, it goes from being criminal sounding to sounding very violent. And it sounds like something that any son, especially one that's 6 foot forever and 300 plus, would do in the same situation. But people like Adam Schefter want to holler out, that's a red flag. Like, that's everything you thought the NFL said they believed in. Protecting women, right? All that, slide over or whatever the campaign is. Supporting women. I don't think you can support a woman much more than keeping a dude off her ass when he's trying to beat her up. But that's just me. You know what I mean? It's just worrying. It's worrisome, man. And it's like you want to take this bad situation and make it worse. Now, granted, he's not washed of the responsibility in the situation. He did what he did. But I tweeted this as well. Like, that dude didn't make no snuff film. It ain't a tape of him, cutting up no body so he can hide it somewhere. This is not that. This is a dude taking a hit of weed, or what we think is weed, while wearing a gas mask. It sounds ridiculous, but yeah, it's what it is. It doesn't look like he's not in no car. He's in a room somewhere with a bunch of white people and a Confederate flag behind him. But, that's another story. Obviously, he made it out. You know what I mean? It wasn't something nefarious, so whatever. You know what I mean? And then the kid ends up, I think his people lied initially, saying that the video was like 5 years old, which would make him in high school. It was my man Rich Eisen was like, I'm not having it. He was like, I don't give a damn what nobody say. That's not a 5-year-old video. And as you see, as people continue to talk, as Laramie Tunsil continue to talk, it went from being specifically 5 years old to a few years back. So you got to clear that stuff up, because people are going to start looking and start wondering and start, people got, I don't know, all this technology they got, man. They can find out exactly like the day, hour, where you were at the time when the video, all this kind of stuff, man. So it's important that you own up to the fact that, and a couple of years ago, it's believable, with the big Confederate flag. It may even been an Ole Miss flag in somebody's dorm room. It's real talk, man. But for people, man, y'all to react the way you do, man, it's like, come on, man. At some point, is anyone just gonna learn temperance? Let's hold up a second. Let the thing marinate for a minute, and see where stuff takes us. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show, heard right now on my website, www.onemicwithbigmike.com. Make sure you go there, check it out. Go down to the bottom. You'll see Listen Live. Click on that joint, as well as the little thought bubble you see dancing around. Click on that, man. You can join the live interactive chat room and share your thoughts on the matter right now. I'm talking about Laremy Tunsil. He was projected to be a top. Initially, before all this trading and stuff went down, he was projected to be a top pick, the number one pick to the Tennessee Titans. Of course, they traded out of that pick, and the LA Rams ended up taking quarterback at 1, and then even at number 2, Cleveland got out of there and allowed the Philadelphia Eagles to swoop in, no pun intended, and get them a quarterback as well. I'm looking at the draft while I'm talking to you guys, and it looks like 2 picks in a row, maybe 2 pass rushers in a row. And I'm only bringing that up because my people here in Atlanta, everybody like I kind of got into it with a couple dudes today about the Atlanta Falcons' first-round pick. They picked a safety, kid out of Florida, Keanu. What's the kid's name? Keanu Smith? No, that's not his name. Keanu Neal, right? Why did I put Smith on this damn paper? Keanu Neal, like Keanu Reeves. You would have to believe that's who he's named after, because that's not no regular name. And I didn't feel like that, not the kid, but that position. Of course you need one because of William Moore exiting, but I don't know, man. It just felt so much more like you end up, thank you, Maceo. Maceo's chiming in the live interactive chat room. Yeah, Keanu Neal. I actually Facebooked, or how do you say? I posted on Facebook one of my favorite sites, and I haven't mentioned it enough, man, as we got through this process. It's called draftbreakdown.com, and what these people have done, with all their genius, they've taken game film. It's not all 22 stuff like coaches film, but it's the television broadcast. But what they've done for you and me and anyone who enjoys this weird stuff, they've actually cut up, like the Keanu Neal tape. They have 3 of his films: Alabama, Florida State, and Michigan, and it's just him. It's a little bit difficult because he's a defensive back, so it's kind of hard to see, how he moves because of the camera angles. Like I said, it's not a coach's tape, but yeah, the Falcons might be screwed, B. I don't know, Wow. The Cowboys just took Jalen Smith, the kid out of Notre Dame, who was really, a lot of people had him as the best overall player in the draft. But because of the knee injury that he got in the bowl game, severe knee injury, he's not going to play this year. And people were thinking he'd be somewhere around a comfortable 3rd-round pick, possibly. If things kind of went awry, as late as the 4th round. The Cowboys took him at the top. And it's kind of counterintuitive to the first pick. Like the first pick, the Cowboys took Ezekiel Elliott, I mentioned it earlier, at 4, saying, we need to win now. You know what I mean? Tony Romo is often injured lately, but still a very productive quarterback when he plays. Dez Bryant will be coming back healthy this year. You lost DeMarco Murray last year and tried to replace him with, Darren McFadden and Lance Dunbar and Julius Randle and Christian Michael and all these dudes. And you went out and got you a real back. I think too early, but whatever, right? Whatever, who cares? It would almost just seem like, golly, for the Cowboys, like, why not, if this is the case, and I'm just going to throw this out there, if you're going to do the Jalen Smith thing here, why not go defense with the first pick and then come back and get Derrick Henry here? Maceo, he's in my chat room right now. You guys can join the chat room as well by going to my website, onemicwithbigmike.com, and scrolling on down to the Listen Live area and clicking on the little thought bubble icon you see dancing around. And Maceo's he's a Cowboys fan, and it would just seem like if you were going to do that, leave that kid alone, man. Because it's not even, like, really and truly, you might say, yeah, it's a value pick here. But it's not. It's really not a value pick here because of the fact that you're not going to see him this year. The doctors have said, though, that the nerve will regenerate, much in the same way as Peyton Manning needed the nerve to regenerate in his neck. This just happens to be a knee. I don't know, man. They end up shooting dice, boy. They shooting craps in the Cowboys war room. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the kid Laramie Tunsil, man. Let me stay on track. This is what happened last year, but last year we were doing the show on day one. As a matter of fact, I was doing the show, Sports King show, with Rob, my homie Rob Calloway, and he wasn't actually there that day. But what's the day? Yeah, I think Rob was at the Pacquiao fight or something. Yeah, because I think it was around the same time. He was at like the Pacquiao fight. So I was doing the show, and it's hella distracting because I love the draft, man. So many like stuff like this happens, and you're like, what the hell? What? And look, I'm gonna say this: the Martin kid, a couple years ago, remember they took the guard out of Notre Dame. People were like, what the hell? Well, dude's a constant Pro Bowler now, But this is a case like Maceo saying. Well, he's not saying. Looks like he's screaming in all caps. No value. Need a player to contribute today. I agree, man. It almost feels like they got shook by the what's the kid's name? The kid out of Ohio State going before them, and now like, oh, junk. They wanted the linebacker from Ohio State. Now it's like crap. Let's get the other kid, the one who can't play this year. And man, if they get stuck with one of those, what's that kid's name? The kid from South Carolina. I don't know if y'all read that story before that he knew he couldn't play. Like he said when the 49ers drafted him, his words now, why the hell would they do that? Jesus Christ. He said the strength and conditioning people like trying to rib him up at the while he was like rehabbing and stuff. Like, yeah, man, you look good. And he's like, I know I don't. What was that? Marcus Lattimore is who I'm thinking about. Jesus Christ. I'm so terrible with names. But anyway, Jalen Smith is off the board, man. Good for that kid, man. Good for him, man. Really, 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 really. Back to Laramie Tunsil, man. And then later on, if it couldn't get any worse, he was hacked again. This time it was Instagram. And the Instagram post was a, wait, why would that be on his Instagram, though? That's weird. Now I think about it. But anyway, it was a text conversation between him and one of the Ole Miss staff members about getting some money. You know how we feel about that. No way can college athletes get money. The kid was short on his rent. His mom needed the lights to stay on or whatnot. You know what I mean? And when asked about it, my man was like, yeah, it happened. And for whatever reason, man, people going out their way to be like, that's snitching. Whatever, dude. I call it get back. You know what I mean? You got me out here working for the free ski. And then when my mom's need her lights to stay on, is my problem? I'm the criminal? My man, stop. Stop that. We gonna come back. Like I do on this day at the 30-minute mark, around there about, and I'm gonna continue this conversation about Laramie Tunsil. But then I gotta kind of ease on into this Atlanta Falcons conversation, man. I watched some of the kids' tape today. I don't know. I mean, I don't get paid to do it, but I'm still like, safety at number 17. When you ain't put a quarterback on his ass in 3 years, that's probably the biggest part. That I'm reading Dan Quinn's trying to sell it to people that, yeah, this kid playing safety is going to help our pass rush. Keep believing it. Keep believing the damn hype. So I'm going to come back and talk about all that as well, man. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show. Heard via the website, www.onemicwithbigmike.com. Also heard on Spreaker.com and the app. When I'm not here, you can check me out, download it, stream it via TuneIn, Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube. I'm trying to be everywhere you are, man. I'll be right back.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Time starts now. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat? Where can you find the answers to these questions?
car crashes are one of the leading killers of U.S. children. Many of those deaths could be prevented by making sure that kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Why didn't y'all tell me y'all couldn't hear me? Jesus Christ. I've just been talking and talking and talking. I'm still looking at Miles Jack in his hotel room and watching him slip down the draft. It's the One Mike with Big Mike show. I'm going to have to go back and edit this whole joint, man. And good God, I hate you people. Y'all tell me when I mess up like that, man. Anyway, no. I'm about to do on this day, and what I was mentioning before I turned my mic back on, is that Miles Jack has a $5 million insurance policy on his body or whatnot if he makes it past. Oh, he just got picked. Sorry, I didn't realize that's what happened. So he doesn't get the $5 million. The $5 million kicked in if he got picked after pick 45. I'm gonna get back to you, Maceo. Let me get on this day out the way real quick.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
I swear I do that about once a show. I just leave the mic off when I come back from the break. Anyway, it's your Friday edition of On This Day, man. Let's get through it real quick. On this day in 1930, 123 runs were scored in 7 Major League Baseball games. Not 123 each, or for each, total. On this day in 1936, the first pro baseball game in Japan is played. Nagoya defeats Daitokyo 8-5. I had to put my little whatever, because it might end up being racist if I say what I was about to say. On this day in 1941, the Boston Bees agreed to change their name, stand up to the Boston Braves, who, as we know, did they become the Milwaukee Braves and then become the Atlanta Braves? I'm just going to assume that's how the lineage went. On this day in 1961, ABC debuts ABC's Wide World of Sports, hosted by Jim McKay. On this day in 1986, Roger Clemens of the Boston Red Sox sets the record for most strikeouts in a 9-inning Major League Baseball game, striking out 20 Seattle Mariners players. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kerry Woods, years later, Kerry Woods of Chicago Cubs fame, I think he broke that record. Also in 1996, on this day, New York Mets pitcher John Franco became the first left-hander to record 300 saves. And finally, in 2002, my main man, Darryl Strawberry, had to go spend some time in the bank, 18 months to be exact, for violating his probation on a 1999 conviction for what else? Drugs and solicitation of a prostitute. Oh, boy, those were the days, boy. Him and old Doc Gooden, hey, boy, they love that nose candy. I found out something else via Instagram, too, from my white friends. It's also called nose beer. Yeah. So anytime, for the brothers, listen, if any of your white partners ever say, hey, man, let's go get some nose beers, say no. And I mean, unless you're already into that, personal choice, go ahead. But if you don't know what it is, they're talking about doing rails of Coke. So if you're not into that, don't get tunseled. Because this is what I noticed today on the Laramie Tunsil video. I just noticed at the very beginning, one of my astute white partners pointed out to me yesterday the Confederate flag behind him. But before that, the hand lighting the bong, the white hand, I was like, yep. Yeah, he was hanging out with his white homies. Yeah, that's a different kind of peer pressure, dude. Don't get left alone. I've seen dudes get left alone, like partying with white boys. It don't end good. It don't end good at all, B. So, yeah, I'm trying to pay attention to this damn draft and talk to y'all at the same time. And it's hard because there's so many good names left. You know what I mean? Like Miles Jack just went. Jalen Smith just went. The kid from Ohio State, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking and talking and looking at my notes and everything at the same time. A couple of quarterbacks left still. The kid from Connor Cook, that's his name. The kid from Penn State still there. Obviously, Dak Prescott. Man, let me tell you, man, what I started doing. So, I told you guys a little while ago, like, I got sick last year. And so since then, since I've gotten better, I made it a point to kind of like take care of the old body. I've been lifting and got my stationary bike, about 3-4 times a week I do that. But the weather's gotten nice outside. So me being me, I said, you know what I should do? I'll shoot some ball. Not play a game of basketball, just shoot the ball. I go down this local church here that I can't even believe is still in existence, but it is. And they got a court. They got outdoor courts. So I go out, spend about an hour and a half shooting, jump shots, free throws, not doing too much. Man, I come back. I did it like 3 days this week. Now, on the positive side, I've lost like 5 pounds doing that. I don't know how. On the negative side, man, I keep getting these Charlie horses, man. It feels like one of these dudes that's getting drafted today just started, was punching on me, man. Oh, God. Anyway, y'all ain't trying to hear that, but I'm getting old, man, and my body don't do what it used to do. Now, in case you're wondering, I still got that shot, though. In case that's crossing your damn mind. Don't try it. But you ain't going to see me running up down nobody's damn court, not even no 3-on-3 half court. Not your boy. No. All right. So Laramie Tunsil, right? Let me make sure I got everything off my chest as far as that's concerned. I don't have any doubts. I mean, even though the stepdad has denied it, and he came with the strong denial that anyone involved should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which might be the case. We saw what happened with Hulk Hogan. We saw what happened with Aaron Andrews. It was a violation of privacy, man. So, yeah. And then you had Roger Goodell this morning on Mike and Mike, talking about, it made the draft exciting. He's an idiot. In case you hadn't noticed, he's a damn idiot. it's just so much stuff. And like I mentioned stuff about the money, right? Todd McShay, one of my favorite draft analysts, to be honest with you, because I feel like he puts the work in. Like during the season, this dude is talking to players. He's on the sideline doing sideline reporting. I think he actually puts the work in, unlike Mel Kiper. But he goes to this whole thing about Hugh Freeze being there to support Laramie Tunsil, and then he gets up on the microphone and sells out the coaching staff. Get your ass out of here, man. That dude is giving them everything that they could hope to get from him. Period. You want to talk about him being suspended? Why? Because somebody let him borrow a car? Yeah. That's the other thing. We've been kind of conditioned in that way, too. To feel like breaking these antiquated, archaic NCAA rules some kind of way equates to some sort of legal infraction. No, they're just stupid rules. So if a dude if he's hot and he's gonna be a millionaire in a couple years and people befriend him because of that, guess what, man? Welcome to America. Drake got a brand new pair of Jordans on every day. You think he pay for them? Of course not. Free people get stuff. I mean, free people. Like popular rich people get stuff. People with the potential to be popular and rich get stuff. What is this fool do? What is he doing? I don't know who this is, but he's on TV acting the ass on the stage at the like he's like the hype man at the Is this the kid from Alabama? No, it's Chris Jones, the dude whose penis came out. Oh. Yeah, well, he's already been exposed. So, oh yeah, the dude whose penis came out, and now he's on stage acting ass. So now we've got his ass and his penis. Heard that after it came out. Anyway, now as far as the draft goes, man, like I talked about the guys who are still on the board. Derrick Henry still there. Again, Cardale Jones, Dak Prescott, Reggie Ragland, who. A lot of people had the Falcons taking him, which I'm about to get to in just a second. Apparently, he got like an aorta situation with his heart, but they ain't never scared the Falcons away before. The Falcons have had people on their team with heart problems, and they've been one of the teams who were at the forefront of that type of stuff. Noah Spence, people, speaking of pass rush, the two guys who kind of surprised me, Joey Bosa at 3. Not because I don't think he's a good player. I don't know how much of a game changer he is or is going to be at the next level. But the concern being that the Chargers run a 3-4. That's kind of a concern. I'm not a big, like a couple years ago, man, when everybody was Jadeveon Clowney. You know who was hollering Khalil Mack? Me. Because it's a dude that's already familiar with the position you want him to play. Outside linebacker. And he played DN. It wasn't the other way around. Like, Jadeveon Clowney had his hand in the ground since he was a shorty. Now you want this big, stiff. And then when he did his personal workout, you saw how stiff he was. He wasn't as fluid as you would like a guy who's playing that position to be. So you putting that square peg into that round hole, and, it is what it is. I mean, I don't think that's the biggest of the problems that he's had. His problem, I think, is more so on the line of what I thought it was going to be when he was coming out, motivation, and then staying healthy too. I heard scouts refer to him as a guy who didn't have an NFL lower body, and you see now, man, he's experiencing all these lower body injuries. So the Bosa thing, and then at 9, Chicago jumping up to get Leonard Floyd, and I didn't realize that Leonard Floyd played SEC football at 225 at linebacker. They say he's around 240 now, and we're gonna see how that affects him as a player. But man, that's small. He's not a very strong guy. He doesn't play strong. Again, you want to find out more about these players, man, and instead of just listening to McShay and guys who do it for a living, go to NFL Draft Breakdown, man, and look at these dudes, man. Look at these dudes, DeForest Buckner and all these dudes. Look at these dudes and watch them play. Because you think you've seen Leonard Floyd play because you're a big Georgia fan. But let's keep it real. You're not looking at Leonard Floyd. You're looking at the team. You're looking at the defense. And when he makes a play, you see the replay of him making the play. But you're not sitting there studying him while the game is going on. Don't lie to yourself and say that. So while we're on the subject of pass rushers, there's a certain team that resides in my city, the city of Atlanta. And full disclosure, I'm not a fan of the Falcons. I'm not, one of these. And trust me, I ran into one today. I ran into two today. Not ran into two. I was having a conversation with one, then I ran into the other one. That you can, you can tell when dudes are like real into their emotions about quote unquote their team. I'm doing the the bunny ears, their team, and then anybody who comes with any particular variation of reason becomes like a hater, or you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, man, look, the real I do this, and I have for a long time. I don't like the pick of safety in the first round for a team that's got 5 picks to get it right. It ain't like you're the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns got picks to blow. You feel me? You're a team that's middling right around that purgatory area where you're not bad enough to get one of those, surefire picks. You know what I mean? Like, you get 1 through 4. Those picks are going to work out. Unless you're dealing with quarterbacks, then it's kind of sketchy. But Atlanta don't need no quarterback. So you're picking up that high. You get a dude the other year when you were that high, you get Jake Matthews, who is a solid dude. Now you're going to pair him with Alex Mack in the middle, which should, fortify that line somewhat. But now you're in the middle. You're like 17. So a lot of stuff can happen before you. A lot of stuff can be happening behind you. You're just right there in the middle. And then this kid, Keanu Neal. From a lot of people, feel like he's a good safety. Not great. I even heard somebody today said he might end up being an outside linebacker. So one, you kind of pick a dude, a safety, which is essentially the running back of defense. Now you can get one. And this whole thing about Dan Quinn bringing in his Cam Chancellor. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to everybody who feels like this is about to be some reincarnation of the Seattle Seahawks. Right? 2 things. You said it before. Remember when you found out that Thomas Dimitroff was a Patriots disciple? Like, yeah, this is about to be the Patriots South. Wrong. The one move that this dude is known for is trading like 1 million picks to get a wide receiver. But you guys, people call when I was doing the radio show, call in, why you hating on Julio? Julio is the man. That don't mean I'm going to give up 5, 6 other men for him. He's a wide receiver. Is that the Falcons pick? Noah Spence? I really can't see this, man. Like the screen, I have like the picture-in-picture going, but I need the big one to be my computer screen so I can see. And I can't see what just happened here. Noah Spence is off, the Eastern Kentucky kid who had to go to Eastern Kentucky after failing a couple drug tests at Ohio State and was banned from the Big Ten altogether. He just got picked. I don't know if it was by the Atlanta Falcons. I would hope it would be because, look at this. Thank you, Maxio. Tampa. See, while I'm telling this story, the dude who was, I guess he called himself arguing with me about this, right? About how certain teams are built from the back up. And I'm trying to be as concise as possible in saying to him, look, man, the league, not me, the league tells you to build your team that way. Why? Because on the corners and in the secondary, you cannot touch wide receivers anymore. So you can have the best DBs in the world. If you can't put the quarterback on his ass, you're not going to be able to cover him. 2, offensive line play. As of the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, maybe even 10, has been in a slow decline. Which is why You counter that by getting dudes that can beat those guys up. And put even the best quarterbacks, the Tom Brady's, the Cam Newton, tore the league up this year. The biggest game of the season, they put 2 monsters on the end and said, go get him. That dude with the number 1 on his chest, go get him. And he won a Super Bowl. The league tells you to build your team that way. They know it. The Carolina Panthers know it. You know what? You know who else knows? Josh Norman. Bye. We're going to pay these big dudes, Star Lotulelei and all these boys. Look at Tampa, going to get Noah Spence in the first round. The Saints went and got who? A D tackle from Louisville. Like, y'all can let these folks try to sell you, Falcons fans. You can let these people try to sell you all you want to on this safety pick being a good pick. And again, it's nothing against the kid. Nothing against him, but the team that I'm talking about and the opportunities that they have to miss, they only got 5. Out of 7 rounds, they got 5 chances at this, and nobody goes 100%. Like for all the genius that we want to call the New England Patriots, that's only because we don't take into account the picks that they missed because they've had so many. The kid Chad, whatever his name is, from Florida, the wide receiver, the kid, the other kid that played DB, the safety, they miss on cats. All Lawrence Moroney, they miss all the time on high draft picks. You know why they don't care? Because they end up, with a dude like Gronk, Aaron Hernandez that falls. I mean, of course, he ended up being a murderer, but you don't really see that one coming. Things like that happen. But when you got 5 picks, man, you want to tell me that the best you could do at 17 was a safety? If you're gonna reach for an impact guy. Go all in, man. Go get a Noah Spence. Do that. Go get the kid from Ohio State, the linebacker from Ohio State. Don't sell me on no safety. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you how you know it's a sell job. Let me find the article here, the AJC article of the Falcons draft pick, and I hate the way it sounds that I'm crushing this kid because I'm not. And like if this kid ends up being a Pro Bowler, it still don't mean you right. That's gonna be because like going back to the Julio Jones story. Julio Jones was going to be good, period. Him, A.J. Green, they was going to be good, period. The fact of the matter is you gave up 5 more bodies and then missed on everybody else. Nobody else from that trade is left in the league. Not on the team, B, in the league. You ain't got to take it from me, man. The evidence is there. But people just keep saying, like today, they was like, well, Mike Smith ain't here no more. So what? Scott Pioli is. So is Thomas Dimitroff. So is Rich McKay. So is a lot. They fired one dude. I can't even remember his name, a black dude. That was here from the beginning. One of their player personnel people. Everybody else is the same. Everybody else doing the talent evaluation is the same. So the information that Dan Quinn is getting is the same. He's getting it from the same people Mike Smith got the information from. Yeah, man. Keep believing, like it's like Charlie Brown and Lucy, that broad keep holding it. Is it Lucy? Is she the one that keep holding the ball down and telling him that she's not gonna move it? He can come kick it, and every time he kick it, that broad move it and he busts his ass. Y'all keep getting sold these dreams, man. This man, Mike Mayock, who I trust. I don't know about y'all. I trust what Mike Mayock says. He's another dude he's one of those film rats. He rated Neal as the 3rd best safety in the draft, behind Ohio State's Vaughn Bell and West Virginia's Carl Joseph. Another guy, Nolan Naraki, who's been doing it for a long time. He gave the kid a 2nd or 3rd round grade. He says, quote, his coverage skills are average. That's the one thing that everyone keeps trying to sell me on, that he's going to be the one to shut down tight ends and running backs. The league is moving past the tight end game. There's one dude. There's one guy left. Remember that big renaissance that was going to happen? Like Tony Gonzalez was going to leave, and Gronkowski and what's the big Jimmy whatever his name, Jimmy Graham, and all these dudes was gonna do their thing. Tyler Eifert and the kid from that was in Indianapolis. All these new tight ends. There's one that's making a difference. One. Like, a good stat line for a tight end is like, you know, he got 8 catches and 84 yards and no touchdowns. Get your ass out of here, man. Not Thomas Dimitroff. Dan Quinn is talking about, you know, he's gonna help us get off the field. You know what else help you get off the field and improve field position? Putting the quarterback on his ass 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Everybody else can figure it out, man. And this is the worst part of the year here in Atlanta because everyone has dumb hope. That dumb hope. It's like you keep banging your girl without a condom and, like, you know, I just hope she don't get pregnant. Why not just do the right thing? I just solved the problem. I guess I'm an alien, man. You know what I mean? And then we'll find out for a third year in a row while you sitting up here depending on, what's that dude's name? Croy Bierman. To get to the quarterback. I call him Almost Croy because he almost gets to the quarterback every time. He almost got him that time. Sucker. There was one more article because I want to actually read y'all the the quotes from Coach Quinn on this Neal kid talking about how he's going to help the pass rush. Yeah, pass rush by playing better coverage against tight ends and running backs. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, make a difference, man. Other teams converted 43% of their third downs. You remember one of those third downs? You remember what it was? It had nothing to do with safety play. One of those third downs, out of the 82, the one I remember that Jameis Winston won, the slowest dude on the field, broke 50 million tackles and got like a 3rd and 22 or something crazy like that. That ain't got nothing to do with safety play, man. That's your up front people. I don't know what they're evaluating or what they're looking at in Flowery Branch. I hope it worked out. But see, that's the problem. You know what I mean? You keep hoping. And hoping I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know, it ain't many things in this world that I know. You know, I could probably count them on one hand. But this is like one of them, man. It's like one of those things that you just, if you need a safety that bad, improve your scouting, man. Get you one in the later rounds. Like, I'm not huge on that whole Dallas Cowboys thing with Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, you spent all that money, Tyron Smith and all those boys, getting yourself what people 2 years ago called the best offensive line in football, which would tell me that, like last year, coming off that suspension, everybody was talking Adrian Peterson. You don't need Adrian Peterson. I mean, you need something between Adrian Peterson and Christian Michael. Like something in the middle of that. And that's probably DeMarco Murray, to be honest with you. 3rd round back. He's kind of limited, you know, in his skill set. But he does most things pretty well and nothing extremely awesome. Like, he's not a breakaway, game-breaking back. He's not the most powerful, but he's powerful enough. He's got enough game-breaker in him. He got enough wiggle in him. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, 4th overall, Ezekiel Elliott. I'm good, I guess. Yeah, I'm good on that whole thing. And with all this stuff, we'll see. Because I'm not the dude that's going to sit up here and grade drafts and all this kind of stuff. I just have certain things that I've seen play out. You know what I mean? Because it was a coin flip last year. Todd Gurley's going to go 9. Melvin Gordon going to go 20, whatever. One worked out. And, you know, it's still a work in progress with that. I love Todd Gurley. I love watching Todd Gurley play, but things is about to get different. You put that young boy at quarterback, things is about to get different for old Todd. It's the One Mike with Big Mike podcast. I'm gonna try to do another hour, man. I got some NFL draft, some NBA playoff stuff to get off my chest, and a few more other things, man. And we'll do it in the second hour of the show. Don't forget, Spreaker.com is where I'm being heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's SPREAKER.com. And the app, so you can go there, search for my show, One Mike with Big Mike, and then follow me. Give me some follows and click on that little heart button that you see on the player. Speaking of the player, there's one on my website at the bottom of the homepage. You'll see Listen Live. There will be a little thought bubble there. You can click on that and jump on in the live interactive chat room with me. You can also click that heart button. I would appreciate you doing that so I can get my likes up as well. So I'm going to come back, talk a little bit more about these Falcons, where they might be heading in round number 2, and talk about the NBA play. We got 3 Game 6s tonight. Well, at the time that I'm doing the show, we got 3 Game 6s, so we'll talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs as well. I'll be right back.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So, of course, we all know there's lots of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. But here's the thing. This problem is entirely solvable. Seriously, we already produce more than enough healthy, nutritious food in this country to feed every single last one of those hungry kids. We just need a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is out there every day gathering surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across the country. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
One mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah, I Banged Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Oh man, I just made an executive decision just right now. We're gonna do the show for about another 27 minutes tonight. I'm gonna get up out of here tonight, man. I got to try to keep up with everything that's going on. So right now, the second round of the NFL draft is going like this. Cleveland's taking Emmanuel Ogbah, defensive end for Oklahoma State. Kevin Dodd, I think it's going to be a nice quality pick. He's going to the Tennessee Titans. Jalen Smith, I mentioned it earlier, is going to the Dallas Cowboys. Hunter Henry, tight end. I saw a mock draft earlier that had Hunter Henry going to the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe they just got saved by the San Diego Chargers. That's where Hunter Henry's going. Miles Jack will be right up the road, or down the road, I should say, in Jacksonville. Chris Jones, the defensive tackle whose penis was exposed at this. That's what this dude is going to always be known for, man. He's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Go down there and pair it with Dontari Poe, who probably going to be up for a contract here in a second. And Xavier Howard, cornerback from Baylor. Can't say I know who that is. Can't say I know that name. Noah Spence. Howard's going to Miami. Noah Spence is going to the Buccaneers from Eastern Kentucky by way of Ohio State. Sterling Shepard, the kid out of Oklahoma, is going to New York to the Giants. And the Bills take Reggie Ragland. Nice. From the Buffalo Bills. Don't know who this is. Camellia Coria, he's going to Baltimore, so you got to assume Ozzie Newsome knows what he's doing. See, and that's the other thing. Like, somebody told me today, like, you got to trust that the Falcons know what they're doing. No, I don't. No, the hell I don't. Like, when I see the Baltimore Ravens pick a dude that I don't know, okay, I'll trust that. They seem to hit a lot of times on their picks. Yeah, this Atlanta thing, dead. Nah, this squad ain't done nothing in no drafts, man. For nobody to be raising the roof about. So anyway, I bring all that up to bring up the fact that, yeah, there seems to be a bit of a run here on defensive players. Austin Johnson, a nose tackle. Did the kid from Baylor go already? The big kid? The big D tackle? Nah, the corner. Nah, so the big kid from Baylor is still on the board. Maybe the Falcons take a shot at that, man, getting some inside pressure. I don't know, man. Yeah. So anyway, back to the story. By the way, this is the One Mike's Big Mike show. I'm Big Mike. Back to the whole situation on I felt so much like I was doing the show on social media today, and it was weird, man, because I'm trying to, like, prep for the show, but there's not really a lot of other things going on as far as, you know, things to talk about or the things that even matter. Let's just say that. You know, things that even matter. So this is it. Going back into the first round, before I continue this Atlanta Falcons thing, some of the things that surprised me, that didn't really surprise me, maybe that I liked. I liked Robert Nkemdiche. I liked him going to Arizona. You know, they're a team that, contrary to popular Facebook a post that I was involved in, same one I was referencing earlier, apparently the Cardinals build their team from the back up. Have you ever heard of Darnell Dockett? The fact that they went out and got Dwight Freeney, got that dude off the couch, was like, please, we need pass rush. And he was able to deliver it. But that tells you, man, it's at a premium. The fact that, like, part of their secondary, like Tyrann Mathieu, he spent half his damn time in the backfield. Because they need pressure. You need to get the quarterback on his ass. That's so fundamental. I can't even begin to tell you. It's just a fundamental part of the way the NFL is now. That's why we don't have like 290-pound middle linebackers no more and all that kind of stuff, man. Things evolve. And the teams, Falcons, who fail to evolve with it, man, end up either being bad or worse, being average. Like, that's the worst thing you want to be. You want to be good as hell and competing every year, or bad. You don't want to be average. You don't want to be stuck getting 15, 16, 17 as your draft pick every year. That means you was 8-8, 9-7, 7-9. No. But I'm not here to call out no records next year. I'm just basically just pointing out what I'm seeing, man. Eli Apple went over Vernon Hargrave, the kid out of Florida, who was very, very productive down there. That surprised a lot. Where did he go? Eli Apple went to New York and then Tampa. Oh, look what Tampa did. They went and got a corner. And now they went and got a pass rusher. Yeah. Falcons got a safety. And we're going to see. That's why I'm getting up out of here. In 20 minutes, I'm getting up out of here. Because I got to see who these dudes, so I can get on my social media and see who these dudes pick. Shaq Lawson wasn't the dude. I guess he got a shoulder injury or something of the sort. And a lot of people consider Shaq Lawson not it's funny how things change, because when last year, when Vic Beasley was coming out, everybody was like, wait till you see the dude that's coming out next year, this Lawson kid. And then it's Lawson's turn, and it's like, but he's average. You know, I forget who it was. Louis Riddick, I think, talked about him having like peaks and valleys. These are my words, not his. Peaks and valleys, like he's been making splash plays, but then other times loafing around and looking lost. I can see where that's a problem. You know, Laquan Treadwell ended up going to the Minnesota Vikings. I think he was the third wide receiver, the kid from Notre Dame, and then the kid from, maybe he was the fourth. Notre Dame, Corey Coleman went first. The kid from TCU, I'm not sure. Treadwell was either fourth or third at wide receiver, man. You know, it is what it is. You know what the worst part of Laquan Treadwell going there was? The fact that he had to talk to Deion Sanders. My God. If if there's a worst person to ask, or at times not even ask questions to people, like so many times, if you go back and look at, I was gonna play the audio today during the show, but I couldn't even hear it no more. Like he went through the whole thing with who was it, Carson Wentz. He didn't ask him one question. He just kept making statements, and then the kid just kind of like elaborated on his statement. He asked one kid, "Are you happy?" That was the lead question. And if you want to see, and here was my dilemma last night. Like, I wanted to get the Mike Mayock breakdowns on the kids, but I didn't want to get the Deion Sanders interview. So I had to, like, watch the pick on NFL Network, but then go to ESPN, because Susie Colbert is a monster. You know what I mean? Asking actual questions, not just gargling the balls of some 20-year-old, so that maybe you can get him to sign with Under Armour or whatever. That, you know, that's, and I gotta believe that Deion, he volunteers for that gig every year to get his hands on these kids, but he's so bad at it. Like the thing with the little girl, everyone's hollering out was cute and cute. That's bad. It was bad. You know what I mean? Like Susie acknowledged the little girl, told her how pretty she was, and how, and she actually, instead of asking the little girl and throwing a microphone in her, I can't stand when people do that. You throw a microphone in a toddler's face. She said, I know you're happy for your dad. Because that's a fair assumption to make. You don't have to ask her to reply. But everyone's favorite former corner and now NFL Network clown, Deion Sanders, felt the need to interview the baby, not the man. And he kept making these assumptions about the kid. Like, I know you mad. Dude was like, I'm not mad. And when he asked Carson Wentz, the dumbest ass question. Between you and Goff, who's going to be the first one to get their team to the playoffs? What? Like, even if you're not a media person, you don't even ask that question. That's a stupid question. How the hell would he know? How the hell does this kid even know? He's probably not even going to start. Deion Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all love him. Good or bad, I guess, right? What else cost my... Oh, the Lynch. Paxton Lynch to Denver. That kind of puts the old kibosh on the Kaepernick situation, as well as old Sam Bradford, crybaby ass, trying to get up out of Philadelphia. It's a bad look, man. Like, who you think? Like, Sam Bradford, somebody has given him what a lot of these kids got, this false sense of accomplishment before you've done anything. And now all of a sudden, you know, somebody's here to not even here to take your job, but here essentially in this year push you and see how good you can be. Nah, this dude he's not talking to his coach. He's not answering any phone calls. He walked out. He left workouts. That's a difference. Like, Ndamukong Suh just didn't show up for voluntary workouts. Whatever, they voluntary. Screw you. But if you there and you leave because you're throwing a temper tantrum, it's a bad. Like, even if you come back as a starter, who's supposed to follow you, man? Like, you supposed to be the leader, is what they say. Who's supposed to follow you when you're shaken that easily by simply the presence of competition that shakes you to your core, and you leave and you pout? It's One Mic with Big Mike, man. I got another 15 minutes left in this particular episode of the show. Thank you guys for joining me, man. You got a couple minutes to jump on in the chat room by going to the website, the number one, Mike with Big Mike, MICWITHBIGMIKE.com, and going to the bottom to the Listen Live section and clicking on the little thought bubble you see dancing around on the media player. What else did I make sure? I wanted to make sure I talked to you guys about the the NBA playoffs. So yesterday, the Atlanta Hawks took care of business, man, against the Boston Celtics, man. And I know you can hear like the surprise in my voice, but not really the surprise. But I was talking about on Wednesday how I just knew the Celtics, they wanted a Game 7. Well, obviously they did, but I think from the beginning of the series they wanted a Game 7. They wanted to be the team that there was very little pressure on going against last year's number one seed and having it all come down to one game. That's why we got another 3, which is, I thought about that. I thought about this, like, damn, the Hawks just happen to have the only NBA game scheduled on the same night as the NBA draft. Yep. I didn't watch it. It's on DVR, but once I figured out they won and they kind of embarrassed those boys, and Isaiah Thomas was about to try to beat up Dennis Schroeder, I was like, I'm good. I'll move on without any incident. I'll move on. So, tonight, right now going on is Charlotte and Miami. We've also got the Raptors and the Pacers going on right now. Another good series, and then later on, the Clippers try to close out the Trailblazers try to close out the Clippers. The Pacers are trying to extend the series, as well as the Miami Heat trying to extend their series with the Charlotte Hornets, man. What else do we have to get into? This PED thing. Did I mention this earlier? The PED thing about the baseball player, the second baseman, what is his name? D. Gordon. He got hemmed up, PED use. From what I understand, man, this kid was like a rail coming into the majors, and he needed to put on some weight. So apparently his words are, well, not his words, paraphrasing, he said he ingested something that he wasn't clear. He didn't know it was on the banned substance list, so now he's going to miss 80 games, which, whatever. You sign a $50 million deal, you lose like $1 million over 80 games. Sounds like a sound investment to me. I'd do it right now. For more listeners and whatever, yeah, give me a pill right now and I'll do it. Harbaugh winning. Everybody's favorite weirdo coach, Jim Harbaugh. The NCAA has reinstated these satellite camps that they just a couple of weeks ago said, you can't do them anymore. I don't know what happened. The article was very short that I read. It just basically said they changed their minds. And now Jim Harbaugh gets his way and he can go where, I guess, the outcry, another reactionary institution, the NCAA, that says, oh, man, people are mad at us. What do we do? I know, change. And every time people start talking about the kids, it happened last year with the kid from LSU saying that he wanted to sell some of his stuff or auction some of his stuff off for the people who were affected by that flood. And initially they said no, which was the right answer, by the way. Initially they said no. I mean, not right, but it was the correct answer based on their policies. Let me say it that way. And then the public outcry hit them, and they was like, oh, by the way, yeah, Leonard Fournette, you can auction off your stuff. Idiots. So here is what's going on. The Titans have now picked a nose tackle at 12, sandwiched in between their pick at 43. Let's go 43 and 45. Sandwiched in between them is the Oakland Raiders with Jihad. That boy's name is Jihad, like the Muslims. Ward, a defensive end, out of where? I don't know where. And Derrick Henry has been picked. Derrick Henry's been picked by the Titans. Ashawn Robinson, the tackle from Alabama, is now a Detroit Lion. I'm bringing this up because we still have 1, 2, 3 picks at this particular moment. 3 more picks before the Atlanta Falcons pick. And we've seen so far in the second round, defensive end, linebacker, tight end, linebacker, defensive tackle, cornerback, defensive end, wide receiver, linebacker, nose tackle, defensive end, running back, defensive tackle. So tell me again what the Atlanta Falcons were waiting on in that first round. Like, this is not the old draft where if you jump up to get a dude, I mentioned it earlier, the kid Zach Martin. Yeah, people had a second round grade on him, but Jerry said he had to have him. So he got him. Turned out to be the right dude. An all-pro, a pro bowler. And it don't cost you that much more. Because the rookie wage scale has been cut basically in half. So the investment is not as hefty if you do that. If you reach for a dude that you have to have. And you kind of miss the boat if you're the Falcons, because now you got to sell people on, and some people are easier to sell. Some people are easier to sell on the fact that a safety is going to make that much of a difference because everybody seems to be thinking like this is the reincarnation of Cam Chancellor. Look, if Cam Chancellors just grew on trees, everybody would have one, and they don't. This particular Cam Chancellor, the original, that tree was picked in the 5th round. That's where that fruit was ripe at, in the 5th round, not the 1st. Like the same dude that was like going back and forth with me today asked me, do I think Cam Chancellor would be picked in the 5th round today? It's not the point. That's the furthest thing from the point. Like, that's why, man, Sean Carter, man, said it the best. Don't argue with fools, man. It's people from a distance can't tell who is who. Yeah, I just kind of wrapped the convo up, man. Then apparently he screenshotted me for what reason? No one knew. Like, everyone who commented on the post was like, what the hell is this? Like, what? No one understood what it was. Because there was no context to it. It was just me saying, you just won't get it, and him thinking that he had this awesome rebuttal to it. And it kind of fell flat. But, yeah, whatever. Let's see, man. You know what? I might be done. You know, I'm so, honestly, I probably shouldn't have done this tonight because I'm so distracted by what's happening right now in the NFL draft. I want to see it. Yeah, nothing else is really that important, man. The Laramie Tunsil thing is what it is. This kid he has a team now. He's not in any type of drug protocol with the NFL because there's no way to prove what he smoked because of the fact that he passed every drug test. That's what Deion asked him too. We've got to admit, what the hell? Like, he's just not an intelligent human being, man. You know, when it comes to that kind of, like, covering wide receivers, it just seems like that's where it ended. You know, and just making snarky comments that make his white co-host laugh. I guess. You know, I guess, man. You know, he gets paid for it. I can't knock nobody hustle, man. It is what it is. But as far as this show goes, guess what, man? I'm gonna hop on into the weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start my weekend, and I hope you guys have a great one as well. It's the One Mike with Big Mike podcast. I'm going to watch some NFL draft, ladies and gentlemen, and some basketball. I'm gonna come back Monday. Let me tell you guys what happened today. Something kind of halfway awesome happened today. A couple of weeks ago, I told you guys I was trying to get my guy, man, one of my favorite comedians, Paul Mooney, on the show. And I hit him over Twitter, and he DM'd me his information, and, you know, I emailed him. I was like, I hope I'm not getting catfish, but let me email the dude. So I did, man, and finally, like, this morning, I got up to an email from Paul Mooney, man, saying he's gonna check his schedule, man, see if he can grace me with his presence, man. So I thought that was pretty cool, man, and we'll see how it works out. I'll keep you guys up to date, man, on that. As far as everything else goes over the weekend, make sure you check out the show on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com. If you missed it or if you didn't get all of it tonight, also go to the website, www.onemikewithbigmike.com. I have some big things coming with the website here pretty soon, man. Spruce it up a little bit, make it a little bit more interactive and all those things. Also on TuneIn, iTunes, YouTube. The episodes from this week and previous weeks will all be there as well, man. Until then, enjoy your weekend. It's going to be a beautiful one here in the A, man. So enjoy your weekend. I hope to talk to you guys on Monday.